We now welcome Kevin Yannock, Victoria County Commissioner for Precinct 2, running for re-election. Welcome to Community Crossroads.
Thanks for having me. This is great, and great way to pronounce the last name.
Well, you know, as soon as you informed me that Kevin Yannock is actually Yannock,
yes,
I've got to go with it. So
great, that is great.
Well, Commissioner, talk to us about your time in office and just your successes over the years, what you're most proud of and what you're focused on in this re-election campaign.
Well, you know, one thing that I'm very, very proud of is that TxDOT selected me to represent 254 counties in the state of Texas on the bridge replacement program. What was happening was a lot of your urban towns were getting their bridges done, but the rural counties were not. And so the rural counties were approaching the TxDOT commissioners in Austin and complaining about it. So they went out and selected myself to represent 254 counties, and we were able to get these bridges replaced and give a sounding voice or a fair shake to the rural counties to get these bridges replaced.
And that was it 2013?
2013, correct.
Wow.
And that, you know, that's one of the...
At the height of Eagle Ford.
Yes, and I'll tell you that right there helped our precinct out a lot and a lot of the other precincts and counties out in Texas, because a lot of the money was spent in urban areas, and that's very unfortunate. And so that's just one of the great things that I'm actually proud of, and so that's it.
And your precinct is becoming more and more neighborhoods, kind of like the growth that we've seen in Harris County. How are you dealing with that growth as a county commissioner, the introduction of more, you know, kind of suburban residential areas? Well,
you know, you can't blame the individuals who want to move out outside of the city limits, and so if you move out toward that nursery area, which has completely blown up with subdivisions, and so
great school, by the way.
Yes, in the school traffic. So see, a lot of the school traffic now is they use Parsons Road as a cut through to get back to backside of Northcrest, and instead of getting on the loop and getting on 87, get on the loop and go back home through town, they actually use that as a shortcut. So we would try our best to maintain and try to keep up with the growth, and we've been very successful. We just ask for the residents to be patient with us, because we only receive so many funds that they allow us to have, and then we manage that funds, and that's what we have, so that's what we spend. I know that some individuals like to have something done, because nowadays we get it done now.
Right.
But we kind of have to take a step back and say we only have so many funds to use, and we will be able to prioritize on the areas that we have to spend the money on. And there is a formula that we use to actually choose the roads that we redo.
And I know some of the discussions during redistricting, y'all were talking about exactly that, the kind of roads that need the most attention. And I know that was part of the discussion.
Yes, it would, because whenever you sit down in your own precinct, because each one of the commissioners actually take care of their own roads. We have 146 miles-ish of roads, of county roads. The majority of those are paved. And so the oil-field traffic that actually hits these roads, we're very fortunate, majority of it's in Fort Trent. But a person has to keep in mind that gravel trucks, all-field truck, tanker trucks, they can travel our county roads, even though our county roads are not built to handle that, like the state roads are. They still have that right to travel those roads, because when they pay their overweight permits, 2060 permits, that money goes to the state, and the state gives us some gravel and stuff like that. But we have to maintain all that, okay? But they have the right to travel it, except bridges.
Let's go ahead and share some information about your campaign and about your time in office. So you've helped pave over 100 miles of roads, probably way more than that, and you helped negotiate a flat price for asphalt, saving taxpayers big dollars there, and help replace several bridges without the use of local funds, kind of leaning on those grant dollars, those federal funds. And you are also married to your high school sweetheart, Tammy, and you have 2 sons and 3 granddaughters.
You left out the stinky little granddaughters. They, I'll tell you what, it's all about family nowadays, right?
Definitely.
I mean, when times start to get hard, you rely on family. And I'm very truthfully blessed to be able to say that God dealt us a good deck, because lots of people just deal the deck they're dealt, but God has given us a great deck of cards as a family. So I really do appreciate that. I really, thank God for that. So, but as far as the bridges, we replaced 6 bridges already in our precinct since 2007. and we're replacing the 7th bridge this February. Matter of fact, it lets. So these bridges aren't necessarily defective. They are obsolete or deficient. And so the way that when we sat down in Austin for a week figuring out on what we would fare to our counties and other counties, we were able to negotiate with the commissioners and actually say, hey, this is what we're going to do. This is what needs to be, this is what's fair. And so we just utilize that in our precinct to get those bridges replaced.
Well, thank you so much for everything you've done and for coming on the show.
Hey, thanks a lot for having me. Really been great.
Well, coming up, don't go anywhere. We meet more candidates part of the Victoria County primary election.